Turning Point USA is having their annual AMFest event. Sold out. They shared some numbers of what happened, some record-breaking numbers that I believe Erica shared with the entire audience of what's happened with new chapters, what's happened with people joining, what's happened with, the amount of new kids that have gotten involved in the entire organization. Let me see if I can pull up this number here to give you some of the stats. The numbers are unbelievable of what she was sharing with everybody in the audience. Do you have that, Rob, or no? Anyways, it was like 1 million kids joined, 3,000 new chapters created around the world. The amount of money that was, sent in from people around the world, just record-breaking all across the board.
I have it.
You have it? Is this her giving the update?
Yep.
Right there. Zoom in a little bit, Rob. Okay. That's actually not Barron Trump. It's just accounts called Barron Trump News. Erica just dropped her numbers. 50 TPUSA chapters opening every day. 8,000 plus church partnerships. 140,000 requests to join. 1 million students involved. 3,000 Club America chapters. 1,400 college chapters. I mean, this is extremely impressive. Now, can they keep the momentum going or not? There's a lot of people that behind closed doors are going to be doing everything in their power to make sure this momentum continues. But it's going to rise and fall all on leadership. Rob, what speeches? Is this Erica giving a speech?
This is her talking about those numbers.
Numbers. What else do you have? Let's go with the Ben Shapiro one. So Ben Shapiro gets up, and I watch the entire speech. And it was a straight-up call-out. It wasn't like he came up, it was all intentional. It was all written. It was all clear. And it was targeted at mainly 3 people, but mainly 2 people, okay? And here's Ben Shapiro. Go ahead, Rob.
So, for example, if you host a Hitler apologist, Nazi-loving, anti-American piece of refuse like Nick Fuentes, the Nick Fuentes who said that the Vice President of the United States is a, quote, fat gay race traitor married to a Jeet. The person who said that Charlie Kirk was a, quote, retarded idiot. The person who said, and pardon my language here, it's his quote, that he, quote, took Turning Point USA and fucked it, and that's why it's filled with groypers. If you have that person on your show and you proceed to glaze him, you ought to own it. There is a reason that Charlie Kirk despised Nick Fuentes, and indeed even chided Dinesh D'Souza for debating him. He knew that Nick Fuentes is an evil troll, and that building him up is an act of moral imbecility. And that is precisely what Tucker Carlson did. He built Nick Fuentes up. And he ought to take responsibility for that, just as he ought to take responsibility for glazing pornographer and alleged sex trafficker Andrew Tate, or for mainstreaming fake historian and pseudo-Nazi apologist Daryl Cooper as America's best and most honest popular historian. Hosts are indeed responsible for the guests they choose and the questions they ask those guests.
Okay, so that's Ben. Then, and we know who Ben is calling out. Like, it's not even funny who it's called. It's clear.
He could have just wore the t-shirt. I don't know if we have the clips. He directly called out Candace multiple times by name, called out Tucker several times, and obviously there was Nick Fuentes. Those sort of the big 3 you were referring to, Pat?
Yes.
So Candace was probably the biggest recipient of his
probably, but I think the leader of the call out is Tucker, is who he's calling out. So then this is Tucker. Go for it.
Because Tucker was there, Candace wasn't, right?
Yes, go for it.
I just got here, and I feel like I missed the first part of the program. I hope I didn't miss anything meaningful. But I just want to say, I don't think I did. No, I'm just kidding. I watched it. I laughed. That kind of bitter, sardonic laugh that emerges from you when, like, Upside Down World arrives. When your dog starts doing your taxes, and you're like, wait, it's not supposed to work this way. To hear calls for, like, deplatforming and denouncing people at a Charlie Kirk event, I'm like, what? This is hilarious. Yeah, this is hilarious. Actually, one of the clips I was listening to myself, thinking as I often do when I hear myself speak, which is never, because I never watch myself, but at these events they always play, like, the role of you. And I'm like, that guy is pompous. Woo! Sorry about that. We don't see ourselves clearly. But the prediction that, at some point when Republicans took power again, which I did everything I could, to help, and really felt that was important. I still think, I was right. But I really thought that the impulse to deplatform people, or even to use the word platform as a verb, which it's not, it's a noun, don't steal my nouns, deplatform and denounce. Why haven't you denounced somebody else? The whole Red Guard Cultural Revolution thing that we so hated and...
Can pause it right there. Okay, so Tucker gives a speech, Ben gives his speech. You've heard both of them. Where are you at?
So the basic premise of Ben's speech is that truth matters. And we all know that the World Economic Forum came out and said that the biggest concern in the world right now is misinformation and disinformation. And he basically called out certain people for peddling myth truths, untruths, semi-truths, and then operating under the guise of, I'm just asking questions. So to me, Ben was very clear, very direct. I was never a huge Ben Shapiro guy, and I was certainly never a big Tucker guy. But between both of them, they're legends. We get it. To me, this comes down to one word: midterms. Who is helping coalesce, build a coalition around 11 months from now? We're going to have another election. And are you helping bring people together to win midterms, to help Donald Trump and his agenda, or are you trying to tear it down? So there's a lot of infighting within MAGA, and there's a lot of people on the left that would love to see Nick Fuentes and Candace and even Tucker be the face of the new MAGA establishment party. And in my opinion, Charlie Kirk wants no part of it. The last thing that I'll say is this. Ben said one thing, and I said it the other day, about what the Torah says about criticizing a grieving widow. Erica Kirk asked Candace to stop. Candace went on Piers Morgan, and she said, I'm not going to stop. As if she's the FBI and she's leading this investigation. So to me, at the very least, I'll say this. Ben is the same person he's been for 20 years that we've seen him on air. Tucker has flip-flopped, and he's fake. And now, because he's an American, he goes and buys a property in Qatar. Not in Detroit, not in Dallas, not in Boston, not in American cities. He's buying a house in Qatar. And why? Because he's American. God bless you, Tucker.
Vinny.
Well, the WEF, I don't know that we were going to, the World Economic Forum, I don't know we're going to be going by their guidance when it comes to disinformation and misinformation, everything that they push, from global warming, fake disinformation, for COVID, and now we're finding out that, people are having cancer and kids are having heart problems and people are dying, and they lied to us. So I don't take any heed to the World Economic Forum. But if we're trying to worry about
saying that misinformation and disinformation isn't a thing?
No, of course. It's your job to go out there and look. That's why nobody trusts the media. That's why nobody trusts the government. Nobody trusts anybody. It's your job to go and look and find the information and fact check everything that you talk about, just like how I did earlier in the show. My thing is this, Adam. If we're worrying about the midterms, why would Ben Shapiro go up in front of Turning Point USA, in front of everybody, the youth, I want motivation. I want something, because the real enemy is the left. It's the Gavin Newsoms. It's the AOCs. It's all those people. Instead of using that 20 minutes to unite and say, guys, with all the differences, that's the mission, that's the enemy, you're going to talk shit about 2 other people and 3 other people and just bash everybody, okay?
The crowd seemed to like it. They were cheering.
Half and half, whatever, boos and claps. I don't know. I wasn't there. It's just, that's your moment that Charlie fought for people to have debate. Charlie's whole mission was debate, talk, not deplatforming. He went to college campuses and said, okay, give me your argument. Not, I don't want to hear you, and I want you. I think it's awesome that people are talking, that he talked to Nick Fuentes, let him talk. Let him sit in front of Steven Crowder and say his point. I learned more about him through his podcast than I ever knew about Nick Fuentes. I don't think that, if you want to unite and worry about the midterms, that's not the way to do it, okay? And then Tucker had to take his time out of his message and go against him too. And by the way, I don't trust, when it comes to Tucker buying stuff in Qatar, that's the most random, weirdest thing that didn't make any sense. I'm American, but I'm going to buy land as a Christian. He's openly devout Christian in a Muslim land. I don't believe it. Somebody might be getting paid. But I just feel with everything that's happening, they missed the freaking mark. This should have been about America and the actual enemy, because the Democrats are laughing their asses off. Period. That's my opinion.
By the way, a very reasonable take you just gave.
Thank you.
Very reasonable take. Tom, your thoughts?
So my thoughts is Charlie Kirk, I agree with your debate point. Charlie Kirk will go into the belly of the beast, go and put up that card table and put up that tent on college campuses and attempt to say, what do you think about it? No, come here. I'll listen to you. Tell me what you think. Now, why do you think that? Why do you think that? Well, I think there's an economist here, and I think this is here. And he would engage in this civil debate that was getting people to think. And he was personally responsible for delivering Arizona and more. We saw him at the inauguration, and he gave us the numbers. They registered to vote more than 300,000 new voters in Arizona. And if you take a look and just say 60% of those, just 60, not more than that. Now, you know it has to be more than that. But let's just put 60% of those votes voted for Trump, 47. Guess what? He moved Arizona. Kerry Lake was in a war. You saw what was going on with that guy, Ruben Gallegos, whatever his name is. There was a war going on. It was neck and neck. There was all kinds of things. The governor was ignoring what was happening in terms of in these neighborhoods in Tucson where you had these immigrants that had come across that were squatting and things that were happening. It was being ignored, and people were flipping out. And yet, Arizona was razor thin. And guess what? Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA registered to vote, 300,000 people, and carried that state. And he did it one card table, one person, one student, one debate at a time. And I think that an opportunity is missed to bring people together and talk through that. It's not that people don't have passionate points about, I don't like the fact that you're talking to Nick. I don't think this. I don't think that. It's not that maybe those are individual points, that they have the freedom to have their points. And I'll die for the freedom for them to make those points. But I think there is a missed opportunity to bring this together because the midterms are critical, not because of our side, their side. Midterms are critical to move more thoughts and more hearts toward America and what it stands for with rational debate that moves people across the line. That's where I worry about the midterms, and that's why I worry about it. And I just don't like to see this.
Yeah.
I don't think it helps.
So to me, there's a couple things here that I want to go through on both of them. One, when Ben Shapiro spoke, you could tell he's speaking a lot of logic, prepared, intentional, to the point, punchy. When Tucker spoke, Tucker's a more talented person than Ben Shapiro. It's not even close. Mm-hmm. Tucker is funny. Tucker is charming, charismatic, persuasive. He flirts with being manipulative as well, but persuasive. And he knows how to work the stage. He's talented. He's capable. Ben is brilliant. But Tucker is talented and capable. Tucker went emotion. Tucker went heart. Tucker talked love. He mentioned the word love 20 times. Ben is purely logic, okay, is what he's going to. So talent-wise, Tucker's a better talent of delivering a message. Not a question about it, okay? More educated, read all this stuff. Maybe you put Ben there ahead of him. He probably knows more about the Constitution and things like that. Yeah, you can put that category in there. Where was Ben right? The part that Ben was right in when he said, even Charlie reached out to Dinesh and said, why would you debate Nick Fuentes? Because in the debate between Dinesh and Nick won. I don't know if you guys saw the debate or not. Nick was a winner. He came out the winner of that debate between the two of them, and Dinesh came out as the older guy that I know what I'm talking about. You don't know who you are. You're a kid. And so Charlie's like, what are you doing? So as much as Charlie is for debate, Charlie wasn't for everybody because Nick was a disruptor to him. So even Charlie had lines, okay, on who we would have. Nick didn't speak at the event, okay? Nick is never spoken at this event.
I don't think he'll ever be invited.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say to you is there's a reason why he didn't. So to that point, Ben has got a very, very good point on what he's saying with Charlie, okay, and what Candace and some of these other guys are doing with the topics. And then, by the way, you know who else Ben called out? Megyn Kelly. Ben also called out Megyn Kelly. There's a direct call out to Megyn Kelly. He says, look, I'm a big fan of Megyn Kelly, but even Megyn Kelly came out and said X, Y, Z, and I'm not with that either. He says, what do you mean? All she's doing is, I don't know, maybe she's going through stuff with mom and all this other stuff. She's talking about Candace, yes. So I actually, I have to tell you, Ben came across as the more mature guy here. But it's like you're married to Ben, but you're attracted to Charlie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Sense.
It's like Ben is the husband, but Charlie's the guy you follow, and you're like, dude, Charlie's a freaking, not Charlie, what do you call it? Tucker is, I just kind of like him. You're attracted to Tucker, but you're married to Ben, okay? Because Ben is what? Boom, 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 boom. I get that. In regards to, Tucker, he got 45 minutes. Ben got 20. I think Ben probably donated his time. I think both of them probably donated their time. But if you look at the flyer, guess who Turning Point USA put as the first picture of speaker? It's Trump. Oh. Guess who's two? I don't know if Trump is speaking at this one or not. He may or may not be speaking at this event. He probably is. Can you put the poster, the big one, the second one, Rob, the second one? Yeah. Zoom in. They put JD.
JD.
Then they put, no, the second one, Rob, the one you had, yeah. They put JD, and then it's Erica. And then it's Tucker.
Wow.
Then it's Bannon. Then it's Junior. Then it's Tulsi. Then it's Megyn Kelly. Then it's Jesse. Then it's, I can't see that
Ben
face.
Is there.
Now, I don't know who's the guy before Ben? Rob, who's that guy?
Greg Gutfeld.
Greg Gutfeld. Then they put Ben. Okay. And what do you think that ranking of pictures is? You think it's just accidental by last name? It's by who has most influence today. Yeah. JD is first. So Erica chose that list and that ranking. I agree. That's who makes that call. Mm-hmm. So Erica still chose Tucker ahead of Ben by 7 people. That's not accidental. So why is that? There's still a relationship there. Okay? There's still an affinity there. They're still behind the scenes where they have love for Tucker. So don't get it twisted. One got 45, one got 20 for a reason. And even though Ben and them, I think they gave $1 million to Turning Point USA, and they were the first ones to do the Charlie Kirk podcast. I think they were the first one that do it, if I'm not mistaken, Rob. It was Ben, it was Michael Knowles, and I think the crew showed up, and with Andrew and, Andrew and the crew, Andrew, how do you say his last name? Colvert?
Andrew
Colvert, yeah, Andrew Colvert. So, great guy. Yeah, but by the way, this is the bigger thing to be thinking about, is there is 2 philosophies here. The one philosophy is they're all getting ready for something. They're all getting ready for something. It's power grabs right now. Who's going to be the face of the conservative movement? It's a power grab. It's a fight. Who's going to take it? I really don't think Tucker cares to take it.
I don't think so either.
Okay? And I don't think he's the guy, to be honest with you. I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's the guy. I do think he is in so many people's ear, and he is so, if he wants to, there was a guy I did business with. He was very good at the following line. You ready? So good at doing this. And then one day he called, and he and I had a conversation about it. He would call and say, so that we say, oh my God, you see what Patrick's doing? You see what Patrick's doing? You see what Patrick's doing with PHP? See how much it's growing? And the insurance industry was like, we were the conversation of town. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, holy shit, this thing's growing. You say, yeah, but they're doing great, but.
Oh, the yeah, but guys.
And so he created wedges. Is that the right word, Tom? Is that wedges against others? I do think Tucker's playing that game behind closed doors.
Little shades here and
I do think Tucker's like, yeah, be careful with that guy. Be careful with this guy. And I think he's doing that behind closed doors. He gives me the vibes that he's fully capable of doing that.
Of course.
I think Ben is doing that publicly. I think Tucker's doing that privately. I think Ben is doing that publicly. Tucker's doing that privately. And he's working overtime on that side. So, where it's kind of like, I don't want to have the influence over the thing, but man, I want to disrupt and just kind of shake things up, just to shake things up, to say, I still have that influence. I think that's kind of where Tucker's at right now. And for me, as we're going through this next phase, it's going to be interesting because one of 2 things is going to happen. Megyn, I don't know if that's going to happen, but Megyn Kelly is, there's got to be a synergist in this community right now. I don't know who that synergist is. It's not Ben. It's not Tucker. Neither one of them are synergists.
It was Charlie.
It was Charlie. No, I'm saying now. Yeah. Like, who is that person now to play that card? I don't know. Vinny's got a special announcement that I want Vinny to share with you guys. Go ahead, Vinny.
So guys, as you guys know, the Faith Over Fear line, we had the Faith Over Fear shirt. We just came out. This just come out. It's live right now. Pat wore this yesterday. It's a Faith Over Fear hat. I'm trying to figure out, do we have the symbol here? We have the cross here, Hebrews 11, 1 on the back.
Rob, can you click on the hat and show the pictures?
Yeah, let everybody see this. Guys, it's embroidered. By the way,
it's sick.
I only wear Yankee hats. Oh, yeah, so I only wear Yankee hats. But guys, you can see the future looks bright on the bottom. This is stitched. Hebrews 11:11, 11:1, that, and then the cross on the side. Like I said, I only wear Yankee hats, but
It's 3D embroidery.
yo, no, it's ridiculous. And I just want, like, this is, like, every time something like this happens, like, the hats finally come in, we're at a pivotal place where right now, with everything that's happening with Christians in Nigeria, as you're seeing what's happening in Europe, you're seeing what's happening in Australia, the enemy wants us to be afraid. I don't know if you guys saw this. Australia, France, Germany, they just canceled all their Christmas celebrations, all their freaking New Year's stuff because they're afraid. I'm telling you guys right now, I've said this before. In the Bible, 365 times it says, do not fear, okay? Just have faith. And when it comes to having faith in Christ, there's one story that I want to say, and you know this. In Matthew chapter 20, I think verse 9, or 9, verse 20 to 22, there's Jesus is walking through Galilee, and he's healing people. People are touching him and grabbing him, and he's just trying to get through the crowd. And there was a woman that had an issue of bleeding for 12 years. They believe it was like a menstrual situation. She says to herself, and this is in scripture, all I have to do is touch the hem of his robe and I'll be healed, okay? So she crawls through this crowd and she just reaches and touches a string that's hanging off Jesus' robe, and he stops in the crowd and he goes, who touched me, all right? And Peter and everybody's like, Jesus, everybody's touching. He goes, no. Who touched me? He said he felt the power leave his body, and he looks, and the woman is on the floor, instantly healed, and she's crying, Pat, and she stands up and she goes, Jesus, you healed me. And he looks at her and goes, I didn't heal you. It was your faith that healed you. Think about that. Think about that.
It's powerful.
Just touching his clothes, and she was healed, and that's belief. And I want to say one last thing. When Jesus was in Nazareth, he was powerless. He couldn't do any miracles, and you know why? He said because it was their disbelief, because they didn't believe. So your faith is what creates the miracles in your life. And I think this hat is that message. And this is letting everybody know, I'm not afraid. We're not afraid. I'm a Christian. I wear it proud, and I want people to know that. And yeah, that's it. And it's live right now.
I love it. And you know, you can go to vtmerch.com, place the order, get the hat, get the shirt, get the shoe. All of those we'll put over there for you. Yesterday, I had these pastors that flew in from Australia, and he said the most powerful line. Two pastors, the guy's from Egypt. His name is Martin Cedro, and his wife Millicent. And he says, when I was a kid, and my dad and I were talking about becoming a pastor one day, he says, my father told us one thing. If you want to be a pastor, you can't fear. If you fear, don't be a pastor. One doesn't go without the other. You have to be very strong about your faith that you have. So for those of you that are comfortable this Christmas season, New Year's season, going into 2026 with faith, put that on, walk around. You'd be amazed how many people stop by and say, hey, man, I'm with you. Hey, man, I'm with you. I love the stories of just winks with people that are, you know, fans of the show, or, you know, they're looking at each other like, man, you're also Future Looks Bright. You're also Faith Over Fear. You're also Valuetainment. Me too. I'm one as well. So go place the order, or 2 or 3, and gift it to some of the people in your community. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.